let's go to the beet field. Dwight makes Ryan plant a seed in the ground. And then we have this line. Just as you have planted a seed in the ground, I'm going to plant my seed in you. Rainn, I think that was an improvisation.
I think it was. I think I
Yes.
improvised that and was, tentatively and excitedly went to BJ, like, can we keep that? And BJ was like, yes, we can keep that.
Oh, it was a killer improv. I remember it so vividly. And I said, I don't think you know what you're saying, which was
perfect.
It was perfect.
BJ.
I hardly mean to say it was equivalent all in its quality. All I mean to say is that was a very good Rainn generating comedy and me being a very good backboard for it as a reactor. I think the generator is a way more valuable improviser to have on a show, but it's a very good team. But I very vividly remember Rainn improvising that line because with great respect, I considered it a dunk on me as the writer, that he would just on the spot come up with a line that was probably better than any single line in the script that I had worked so hard on. So I mean it.
You're very kind.
That's how I remembered it.
Another thing I improvised in this episode was in the barn, going back to the barn now. The thing of like, Mose, where are all the animals?
Yes, I was going to ask you that, Rainn.
Yeah.
I love that line so much.
But we were laughing, BJ and I, about it on the set and just kind of like, we didn't quite know how to, I don't know that it ultimately landed as a joke, but the idea that it should have been filled with animals, but now it was empty of animals. So what did Mose do with all the animals? Where did he put them? He probably brought them and put them in the house. And that might have been a nice cutaway. It's like, Mose, where's all the animals? And then just cut away to Dwight's actual house filled with cows and sheep and pigs and chickens and whatnot.
Dad, why is Dad in the kitchen?
I remembered it.
But here's what I want to say about working in the office and why it was such a magical time and place to work under the tutelage of Greg Daniels, because we were allowed to do that and to bring our ideas. And at the end of the day, not all the writers some of the writers were like, no, I want to just stick to the lines in the script in the editing room.
Yes.
But in the editing room, for the most part, especially if Greg and Dave, who was our chief editor, were in there, they would just take what's funniest. And then they would just, Lee, I don't care what's on the page. I don't care what's supposed to be there. We're just going to take what's funniest and works the best and what was captured on the camera and make the episode about that. So it was this really nice feeling like, you could improvise all you wanted. It was probably going to get cut. But if you improvised and it added something and elevated it, it was probably going to make it. So everyone felt like they were a valuable contributor. And believe me, I've been on a lot of TV sets since then and before then, and that's just not the case.
I got totally spoiled working with Greg because Greg truly wanted my stories. He wanted my ideas. He loved to pepper me with questions about what my life was like when I was really a receptionist. And those little things would find their way into the show. And it made me feel like, oh, this is what it is. This is my first TV show. I didn't know any different. So jobs that I've had since, I will go into the writers' offices and with my bright ideas and my stories and my lore. And I realized quickly that most showrunners and writers are like, stop talking. Not interested. Please leave my office. I'm trying to write dialogue for you. And I was like, aw, wah, wah.
I have to tell you guys, this is sort of an embarrassing moment. After The Office ended, I did a multicam for TBS called Your Family or Mine. And I'd never done a multicam before really like that. And in between setups, I ran over to the writers and they were really nice, but I ran over to them and I'm like, guys, I have a few pitches. And they were like, I'm sorry, what? Like, we're not doing any pitches. Like we'll come to you if we have an idea. We have an audience loaded in. You don't just, Kinsey, get to come over here on the fly and be like, hey, I got a pitch. Like, it's like, no.